Mr. Davis, why are you doing this? You were voted the hardest hitter on the male team last year. Doesn't that make things even more lethal for the biological females that you're injuring?
Oh, okay. I can't answer that question right now.
Oh, is that right? I see these ladies telling you not to talk. You're taking orders from these rugby players, sir.
Well, I'm just here to watch a rugby game.
So why is this being tolerated, ma'am?
Because they're not a male.
They. Oh, it's a they. How about yourself, sir? Do you agree with a biological male playing against biological females? Looks like you're giggling. Weird world, isn't it, sir?
It's a sticky situation, that's for sure.
Have a good weekend. Oh, you don't... Really?
So joining me now is my friend and colleague, David Menzies, who has become one of the greatest advocates in this country for fairness in women's sport. He's been on the trail of the trans-identified, non-binary, biological male rugby player from Fergus, Ontario, who plays on the Fergus Highlanders. His name is Ash Davis. David has just been really dogged in this. And like I said, shocking, but not all that shocking, because you're a man who cares deeply about fairness. And I think you kind of like us women, but you are, I think, one of the strongest advocates for women in sport in this entire country. How did this come to be, David?
Oh, what a great question. I mean, the very fact that David the Menzoid Menzies would be Canada's foremost feminist when it comes
Especially when you have like Archie Bunker vibes.
Oh, 100%. I'll take that as a compliment, Sheila. But it is staggering. You are referring to, I guess it's a viral video, isn't it, of what happened in Fergus on July 22nd when ace cameraman and super producer Efren and I went to Fergus to see firsthand what was almost unbelievable, which was a male. And don't get any illusions, folks. I know when it comes to trans and non-binary, some guys like to give it the good old college try of trying to come across as a male. I think of Busty Lemieux at the Halton District School Board, with the Z Cup fake breasts. Well, he claims they're real, but that's another story. The blonde wig, the skin-tight cycling shorts. But Ash Davis, Sheila, as you well know, he doesn't do anything. He's got an Adam's apple. It looks like he's suffering from the onset of male pattern baldness. Got a little bulge where a woman shouldn't have a little bulge. And then, of course, there's the impossible to ignore thigh muscles and arm muscles. And he is literally, Sheila, I would say, a bioweapon. He is a biological male playing against biological females. And his teammates, as you know, they are so woke. They have been so brainwashed via indoctrination. They see no problem with this. They went hysterical when Efren and I approached them, chanting trans rights, trans women are real women and human rights for all. You couldn't have a conversation with them. Some of them were tearing up. By the way, in your descriptor of Ash, you forgot one, which is lesbian, because this woman in a hysterical state came running up to us and declared that she is Ash's wife. So I'm thinking, okay, she's obviously a biological woman because I do see the presence of kids. So if she's Ash's wife and Ash is a woman and it's a woman who loves another woman, that's a lesbian, right? Or is there some new category out there, Sheila? But I have to tell you, we received some feedback, which was, why didn't you ask the opposing team? In that case, it was the woman from Burlington. What did they think? On the sidelines, we did. We couldn't get any comments. And near the change room, we did offer Burlington ladies to come on camera. They all declined, at least politely. So when we went the following week, Sheila, on July 29th to Waterloo to see Fergus play the Waterloo team, I made it a special mission to go to the Waterloo woman directly and say, what are your feelings on this? And it was a hostile response. They were, some were saying profanities. Others were defaulting to, the trans woman or real woman thing. A lot of them, I didn't pick it up at first. They were pointing to their wrists. And then when I watched the video closely after the fact, I went, holy macro. Some of them were wearing the symbol of the trans community, the pink, baby blue, and white rainbow. And there were others who, they weren't saying anything at all. Now, here's where it gets very interesting, Sheila, and it's leading to a follow-up story. Why were the women that weren't taking a stance for Ash Davis, why weren't they saying anything? Were they camera shy, or was it something else? Well, Sheila, turns out it was something else, because a source who will not be identified, because we do live in cancel culture. That's the way it is, folks, as you know. This person shared with me an email that was sent out by Josh Windsor. He is the president of the Waterloo County Rugby Club. And basically, it was laying down the riot act, Ash Davis being, on the field with the other Fergus players. This is all about the Canadian Charter of Human Rights and the Ontario Human Rights Code and Rugby Canada's trans inclusion policy, yada, 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 yada. And then he ends it with a two-pronged threat, Sheila, and this absolutely blows me away and completely explains why those ladies who are upset about being victimized kept their mouth shut. And I'll read verbatim. This is from Mr. Windsor, okay, president of the Waterloo Rugby Club. Any act or behavior that is deemed to be discriminatory and in contravention to these laws and policies will result in immediate expulsion from the Waterloo County Rugby Club. And then, Sheila, here's the other shoe that drops. Any act or behavior that is deemed to be motivated by hate will be immediately reported to police. Can you imagine, Sheila, this woke wimp, this censorious thug, a biological male himself, although maybe I better ask him to make sure, but that's a moot point. He won't return my emails. He threatened these women with suspension from the team, one, and two, a weekend in the holding cell at Waterloo Regional Police for hurting the feelings of Ash Davis? This is preposterous. No wonder no one will come forward and utter a response. They're afraid, clearly, Sheila, of the repercussions.
This is a level of hate that I don't think women have seen in a very, very long time. We've got a man thinking it's his right to co-opt womanhood just by putting on a blue dress at an awards ceremony. And it feels it's his right to steal opportunities from women on this team and hurt them, because he has hurt women, 3 of them one time in one game. And then you have women being bullied into absolute silence with threat of criminal charges and expulsion from the sport that they love if they don't agree to allow themselves to be harmed by Ash Davis. I was saying to you on the live stream earlier before we filmed this that, in the olden times, there were periods at which society deeply hated women and reinforced it. Let's just go back to the witch trials. I am inclined to believe there were some instances of witchcraft going on. But if you were just like a groovy woman who didn't put her bun up tightly enough, maybe showed an ankle, maybe was a little bit too friendly with the men folk, and knew a little bit too much about folk medicine, like knowing that willow bark is akin to aspirin as a pain medicine. If you knew a little bit too much about that, you might get yourself accused of witchcraft and dunked in the river. And if you survived, they would dunk you again because the devil clearly helped you survive. There were times at which women were subject to this sort of stuff, but you have to appreciate just how truly reviled women are by these men who steal our opportunities. Think about the level of hatred you have to have for a woman to castrate yourself in a very public and ritualistic way, turn your wiener inside out just so that you could be a better woman than us. That's a level of hate I don't think we've experienced in a very, very long time.